Chip Hellman? Thank you. Mr. Jason Hill is not with us just yet. Greg Zaworski? I think Greg is going to join us shortly, so he is not here. Tony Zikovich?
Present.
Thank you, members. We do have quorum in order to proceed. And so as first order of business, I would like to just make a quick statement that anyone participating from the public will be able to join us, and we will make sure to stop under new order of business at the end to give them a minute. They can, of course, ask any questions regarding what's been posted on the agenda, and if needed, we would limit that participation for 3 minutes. This meeting notice was posted to the board's website since July 17th of 2024, and additionally, this month's agenda was updated as of April the 1st. So thank you, members. The agenda has been emailed to each of you. It's also on your iPads. If there are any revisions that you'd like to see on the agenda, please let me know. Otherwise, we would need a motion to accept as presented.
I move we accept the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Chip. Thank you, Lori. We have a motion by Chip Hellman and a second by Lori Hadwig. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we will proceed. Thank you. On your iPad, starting on page 2, you will see the January minutes. The minutes were also emailed to everyone. If there are any changes to be made, please let me know. Otherwise, I will let you also motion for these to be approved. And the minutes go on your iPads from page 3 all the way through page 16.
Well, they look good to me, so I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I second the motion.
Thank you. We have a motion by Chip Hellman and a second by Lori Hadwig. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. We are moving right along. The next item on your iPads is, of course, an update to our financial situation, if you will. The item is on page 17 of your iPads. This is our fiscal updates through February of 2025. They do reflect a deficit of $74,991. It still leaves the reserve at a high balance. We're at $744,431. As we've discussed in each meeting, I know that our expenses are about as low as we can do, even the board members driving on the day of. All the things that could be saved, you all do, we all do. So the reserve balance right now, I think leaves us enough to not be concerned and see how things play out. Any questions from anyone? Okay. I am going to turn it over to our wonderful attorney, Joseph Wharton, to take over on the legal report.
Good morning, board members. Before you is the legal report. There are 16 total cases. 15 of those are new, and then the 16th case is a represent from our legal report from last time. So please review and let me know of any questions or concerns, and we can go over them.
A couple of these have $500 civil penalties, right? Do you want to, is there any reason to discuss those?
I would leave it up to you. I mean, my summary, I feel like coincides with the recommendation, but if you have a
Yeah.
question, our normal civil penalty amount is the 500. I
Right.
believe we're limited per violation at 1,000. So we've always kind of done that 50% margin on a proposed consent order.
Yeah. I don't have any problem with your recommendations personally, but it seems like we have several cases where people are operating or have a period of time where they operated without a license.
That would be our #1 violation. And I would say that the vast majority of consent orders that this board has entered into or civil penalties that, we've offered to respondents since I started has been for exactly that. unlicensed conduct.
Yeah.
And it seems like the issue is, I think we discussed it at the last meeting, and you all know this better than I do because you're in the industry, but there's been a lot of centralization, big companies buying others, and I think the issue is that I've come across is when a business acquires one that was operating in a certain amount of states, they kind of put the responsibility of making sure that they're set in that new area of which they purchased into on a licensing company, like a third-party company. And sometimes it falls through the cracks and they aren't actually licensed in Tennessee or another state that they've essentially bought into, that they weren't originally licensed before the transaction, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Know it well, right?
Yeah, you have to renew the, you have to reapply if you, yeah, buy a company.
Right.
And I would also say it seems that consumers and, people in general are moving more. So a lot of times, the debtor may have been present in Nevada at the time that the account was originally turned over. Years have now
Right.
since passed. And then they, the only contact that they have that's valid at this time is an email address. But the person is now living in Tennessee. So, situations like that as well.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, I'm going to move that we accept the legal report, but do we do that before, and then when we have a second, let him read it in, or does he read it in first and then into the record? How would you, I forgot how we did that.
I'll go ahead, I can just read it in, and then you guys can essentially approve what I've read in. But I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure, you guys could ask me any questions or concerns.
Lori, do you have any questions
No
about the legal
questions.
report? Okay. I'm sure you've been here a few times, so we've done,
Okay.
okay.
Yep. Alrighty, so I will go ahead and read in the complaint numbers on the legal report for the April 9th, 2025 board meeting. Complaint 202-406-0541. Complaint 202-406-4971. Complaint number 202-406-4991. Complaint number 202-406-4721. Complaint number 202-406-6261. Complaint number 202-500-1061. Complaint number 202-500-921. Complaint number 202-500-5881. Complaint number 202-500-4761. Complaint number 202-500-5851. Complaint number 202-500-8981. Complaint number 202-500-5831. Complaint number 202-500-6151. Complaint number 202-500-8281. Complaint number 202-500-8121. Complaint number 202-405-3161.
Oh, I think we'll entertain a motion to approve the legal report.
So moved.
That was Mr. Swirsky, who, by the way, joined the meeting right at the very beginning, in case we need that on the record.
Yes, no, I've got.
He was here from the
He is
beginning.
here.
I know, we all got caught in the traffic.
I'll second that motion to accept them.
Thank you. We have a motion by Greg Zaworski, pardon me, and a second by Lori Hadwig. All those, pardon me, in favor of approving the legal report as presented by the attorney with his recommendations, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. That takes care of the legal report. Joe, I'll leave it with you for a legislative update.
Good morning, board members. At the end of our last meeting, it was brought up, I believe it was a companion piece, but you all mentioned proposed rules by the CFPB dealing with medical debt on credit reports. I wanted to bring up to you that in the state legislature here in Tennessee, in this legislative session, there was a proposed bill that read nearly the same way. That bill number is Senate Bill 0402. The House bill, it's the same thing, but it has two numbers, House Bill 0539. What that bill proposed to do was it was going to prohibit healthcare providers from reporting a patient's medical debt to a consumer reporting agency, and then it also prohibited consumer reporting agencies from publishing medical debt on a consumer's report.
Regardless of the balance, right?
Correct. I've been following that bill. The last update on that bill was March 4th. It does not appear at this point in time that it is moving forward. It seems to have been stopped and most likely will not become an active piece of legislation. Obviously, there's no final outcome yet. I've been keeping my eye on it, but the fact that it has not moved outside of the committee since March 4th is usually an indicator at this point in time that it's most likely not going to move forward. If there are any changes, obviously I would update you, via our e-notify system if the legislation went into effect, and then obviously we could discuss it on our next board meeting. But I just want to give you that update, and as of now, it doesn't appear that that's going to be moving forward. So,
Well, thank you for that update. But I think I should point out, but maybe Greg would be better to talk about this because of his involvement with the American Collectors Association. But with the new sort of presidential agenda, which in essence would be, the purpose of which would be to limit the scope and responsibility of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which would be good for business generally. There has been about a tripling of new bills introduced at the states levels across the country addressing collection issues, with the perception that if the CFPB's not going to be the iron fist that rules our industry, that the states have to do it, which is seems sensible. All that just to point out that there, maybe this year we're clear, but there will likely be lots of many bills potentially that are introduced in Tennessee and certainly in other states that want to get involved with the regulation of collection agencies and how we conduct ourselves. So,
I think that was well stated, Chip. That's
Greg,
exactly-
can you press your mic on? It's not on. Thank you, sir.
That was well stated. Am I on?
Yeah.
That was, that's exactly what's going on. The CFPB has been kind of hobbled, where there was a district judge that kind of tried to reverse that, but now he's been blocked. So it looks like CFPB is not going to move forward with this at this time. But the states, I think there's 8 states, I believe, that have introduced such legislation, but most of them are about out of session. So if it hasn't gone through yet,
yeah.
like you say, it'll be next year. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to watch.
There absolutely
When
is.
you consider like Greg's role, my role, we're kind of watching every state. The American Collectors Association is trying to watch every state because these bills and are going to try to limit things like this credit reporting on medical debt and so forth. So.
Yeah, we have a gentleman, his name is Andy Madden, and Andy is a lobbyist. He looks over all the state legislation. We have someone that looks over federal, but Andy, he's got a heck of a job because he's got 50 states to look at.
Yeah.
But he is very up to date on this thing if you ever have questions, yeah. Andy
Yeah.
Madden.
So Greg has contacts within sort of the legal system at the, I would say at the federal level, but through ACA. And if something ever comes up, Greg has a great resource to help connect you with people who, so for example, states like Colorado are pro-consumer. Those are the states that are probably going to get legislation passed first or already have.
California.
Yeah, California would be another. And there are lawsuits against the CFPB from our industry. There's one for sure I'm aware of. Greg and I talked about in our last meeting where businesses are suing the federal government saying it's overreach and it really harms the medical profession if they can't collect their bills like they always have.
It's actually ACA filed that lawsuit
Yeah.
to represent all the companies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So anyway, just pointing out, that's kind of a moving, an area with a lot of activity in the coming year or two. We'll probably see a lot more. So I would just ask, when you see something at the state level, if you could note, not every time something comes up, obviously, but with good judgment, if you see something that you think's problematic for our industry, though this board does, I guess it doesn't present a conflict, but I guess you at least should let us know.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You
If-
all are the regulators. You all are my client. So my job is to keep
Okay.
you all informed. So
awesome.
anything that comes across, I will keep you appraised of. Certainly here in the state of Tennessee, I will say, having been in law for over a decade at this point in time, when things start varying with states, just like you mentioned, where maybe California operates in a much different fashion than Tennessee, usually what happens is we then go back up to the federal level because it's going to be extremely hard for consumer reporting agencies knowing if there's a vast different rule set here in Tennessee and there's vastly different
You
rules
bet.
in Colorado, their seat is shining sea. They want everything as baseline and corresponding and parallel as possible. That way they're not looking up each state and laws and rules that could vary. So just something to consider. But yes, I will always keep you updated on any piece of legislation that would affect our
And
program.
you can see what follows this is a bunch of consumer litigation and/or complaints to the regulators to say, hey, I lived in Tennessee, then I moved to California, a state that doesn't report medical debt, but my Southern Hills Medical Center account got reported, and I now live in
Exactly.
California.
And
So
that's-
I'm gonna sue the collection agent. I mean, it's just gonna create,
Which is why I think at some point in time, we'll see some, and it may not even be the CFPB, but some form of federal mainline legislation to keep everything more uniform, because it would be problematic for any business, collection businesses and consumer reporting agencies, if you would literally have to look up the rules of 50 different jurisdictions before you're reported an account on someone's credit report.
yeah, you bet. Craziness. Yeah. That was all I had on that subject, and I appreciate the update.
Absolutely.
Members, anything else? Any other questions? Anything to discuss since we're all together? The what?
The rulemaking package is a small update.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
I apologize. I should have just tacked this onto my last comment. The rulemaking package that we discussed and had the rulemaking hearing on earlier this year, just a small update. Those have now been filed with the Attorney General's office. That's the last rung of approval that we need. They're reviewing those rules for constitutionality. I filed them with them on February 24th. I would expect that we have either an approval or denial from them based off of their review by the end of this month. Now, that's me projecting, but that's kind of usually their timeline. And obviously, I have nothing indicating right now that there's issues with the rules, but keep you updated on that. Just wanted to let you know they're moving forward.
So probably by our July 9th meeting,
Oh, I would certainly hope so. I would hope so, yeah.
but I mean, at that point, they may be in place, or,
So after the Attorney General approves them with their review based on constitutionality, we then immediately file the rules with the Secretary of State. They are posted for 90 days.
Okay.
And then at the end of that 90-day period of posting, they essentially become effective. But it's our business as a or it's our practice as a department that when we have a rulemaking package and we get an effective date, which they'll issue to us before the 90-day period is over, that we'll go ahead and issue an e-notify and say, hey, these are the new rules, here's a copy of them, they're gonna be effective on this date. So you guys would get that update via e-notify, and then I'd also let you know at our next meeting.
That's great.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. So, members, if we have nothing else, I want to make sure that we take a minute in case anyone is participating remotely, has any questions, any comments. The team that you see is our team, so I think there's no one there with a raised hand. If you don't have anything else, we'd entertain a motion to adjourn and let you deal with traffic once more.
I'll move to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Lori. Do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Tony. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. It is 10 o'clock. Thank you very much,
Man.
members, for all you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Until July.
Photo, my kids are in the back.
What's that?
Don't take off, we're gonna take a little photo.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
I hit it at Raleigh Parkway, there's a wreck there.
Well, there was a wreck about 30 miles out. And so it got
Are you two
me
gonna be in
off
my
on
little
this
photo?
Huh?
Are you gonna be in my little photo?
I mean,
Are y'all doing a photo?
Yeah, with the, it's for their school, since they're here.
Yeah, it was, I hit it.
Roxanne, no, I want you to be in it.
I'm in Mount Juliet. I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
I did good.
The board will go in the back.
Well, who's going to take it?
You're gonna be in it.
Oh, sure. Did you
I did good.
picture?
I was quiet.
There you go. Absolutely.
I did good. All right.
You did excellent. There you go.
Excuse from school.
There you go. Everybody there?
This is the proof.
This is
Stand
their
back
proof,
here with you
yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
All right.
tell me about it.
Yeah. Here, I'll let you get in here.
Thank you. So, they can see the symbol.
Yeah, I'll stay here with the kids. Do you? Let's get Bob.
Do you see
Yeah, we can point to the.
I can see the seal, yes. Absolutely. Everyone's, all right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I like it. I took two.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's great. Children, that's great.
Send that to me if you don't mind.
I will.
We'll post it on our social media, and the
Yes.
kids will be able to connect.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a whole crowd next time.
Yeah, maybe. Like the schools.
I'm surprised that the schools that are doing financial and those pieces don't ever come. The cosmetology board is my board first. We had standing room only. I had about 100 something students at our meeting because it was rulemaking hearing.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, it was packed. Packed. And somebody said, there are all these kids doing hair in the bathroom. That would be my student. That wasn't the reason they were supposed to come, but.
Roxanna, is there anything about spam calls going on? I get about 30, 40 spam calls a day. I couldn't even answer my phone anymore. And they're from all over. You can't block it.
I don't think there's a, where there's supposed to be an app, but it doesn't work. 'Cause I've done, I don't get that many, because I have used the app to block.
Yeah. I've even had it spam through my bank, First Horizon. And this morning, I got a call from Erlanger East, the hospital.
Oh, my God.
You know?
That's a great way to get your call answered.
Yeah, I had to answer it.
Erlanger ER, or something. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
He's in the
it's like so
ER.
out of control.
It's crazy.
And I answered over the weekend, and I'm like, I'm gonna file complaints against you. I'm gonna report you. Stop calling me. And he's like, oh, go ahead, call me right now. I'll wait.
Oh, way. Oh, that is,
Wow.
So,
Because he's already in Czechoslovakia anyway.
yeah,
That
that's
is,
always important.
that is, yeah. Oh.
All right, well,
Sorry
thank
we didn't wait on you,
Oh,
but since
no,
everybody
you
ran
had a
late, I
quorum.
thought, what if you're really stuck?
Yeah, what
And we
if
maybe